Again, some things seem to me glaringly obvious, and yet I find that to others these simple truths appear to be on a par with fascism. Here is an example. As far back as I can trace my family history, it lies in the British Isles, with one or two Germans thrown into the mix in the 19th century. Certainly, all my grandparents were born and raised in Britain in the 1890s. This gives me a certainty about my national identity. People in the cabinet, such as the new Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood, on the other hand, as well as leader of the Conservative Party Kemi Badenoch, have no such national identity. Their parents and grandparents were born in foreign countries, and they cannot possibly have the same rooted sense of Britishness which I have. They both grew up abroad and spent their early years in Saudi Arabia on the one hand and Nigeria on the other. Anybody who cannot appreciate that they are not and cannot be as British as I am must, I'm sorry to say, be either slow on the uptake or deliberately obtuse. This doesn't mean that I am better than they are, you understand, but it certainly means that we are different. I cannot for the life of me see how anybody could fail to understand this simple point. One of these two women is now the Home Secretary, and the other hopes to be Prime Minister. I am not at all keen on either of those ideas. I do not claim that Shabina Mahmood and Kemi Badenoch are less intelligent than me. I'm sure they're not. Nor do I claim that they are less virtuous than I am or more crooked. What I do claim with perfect assurance is that they differ from me in the love they have for this country, and that Britain means less to them than it does me. Their early childhoods were not spent here. They have no stories from their parents of their childhood in Britain, or grandparents either, come to that. Their whole attachment to Britain is tenuous and ephemeral. For this reason, I feel that there is a good case to be made for not allowing anybody to stand for Parliament unless his or her parents and grandparents were born in this country. This would ensure that those making decisions about matters such as immigration would share the deep feelings of the rest of the native population of the British Isles, and we would be sure that they understood us and our concerns. Such a regulation would not, of course, prevent traitors such as Keir Starmer gaining power, but it might go some way towards bringing the power of Parliament back to the British people. I could easily see how similar moves could work on posts such as mayors and so on, which would mean that people like Sadiq Khan would be ineligible to run for Mayor of London, to give one example, and would put an end to the petty fiefdoms of men like Lutfer Rahman in the London borough of Tower Hamlets. The effect of all this would be to end at a stroke the influence of Islamism on the British political scene, for one thing, and to centre our politics back where it belongs, on our country and our interests, and for the benefit of our people.